Romans 12:12. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Good day, everyone. I am off to church. And then after that, to lunch with the family. And after that, see Avengers, Age of Ultron. I'm excited for this day. Yeah. Alright, just got done with church. Pretty good sermon. Yep, and I've pinned some ideas down as to exactly what we're doing today. So, time to go get some food. Alright, I'm going to talk about the Avengers today. Won't spoil anything, but I will say that it was awesome. So much awesome. So much good and cool. Before I get to that, I went to Taco Bell for dinner. And apparently now, if you order on the Taco Bell on the mobile app, which I've been doing for months since it started, you are a Taco Bell VIP. This is the bag they put my food in. A paper gift, like a gift bag. USA materials assembled in Mexico, it says on the bottom. So I thought that was interesting. They've set up aside a table for someone who comes in with a mobile order, so they can sit down and wait instead of standing and waiting on the food. And to not find a table or anything like that. But it was weird, but it was cool to finally feel appreciated by Taco Bell, even a little bit. And because I go over to that one location so often, they told me that they put the table there just for me, which I know isn't true, but whatever. And the last two times I've been there, someone else has been sitting at that table, ignoring the sign. But anyway, not important. Back to Avengers. Really good movie, put together very well. I'll try to briefly go over the premise for you without giving anything away. The idea is that, first of all, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just walks you right in. Like, I didn't realize it was going to walk you in that much. I thought it was just they were going to call the Avengers because they knew something. But literally, they figure out where this place is on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week. This last week, last Tuesday, they figure out where this place is. Then they say they should call the Avengers in. And then you see the Avengers going on that mission to that place. Which is really cool. They go there, they take care of what they're supposed to take care of. They recover Loki's scepter. Then they play around with it, which they probably shouldn't have done. In the process, they create Ultron. I don't know if that's a little bit of a story along explaining what happens, but really, this is something that you would see right away. Most people would, anyways. So they create Ultron. Ultron's primary purpose is to make peace, as what they keep telling him. He's interpreted it differently than them because he doesn't value human life like they do. And so his interpretation of making peace is to destroy everyone and let the ones that can survive evolve and become stronger for it. So his plan is complex, and in order to stall for time, he basically sets up kind of a trap for the Avengers to try to trip them up, and using one of his allies, Scarlet Witch, who has some mind control abilities, not drastic, but sort of. Using that, he is able to get inside their heads and kind of get them turning against each other a little bit. The Hulk Iron Man scene was really cool. It's true they did delve much deeper into Hawkeye's story, which was nice. It was good, and it kind of made it so that you were okay if you didn't see Hawkeye again in the next movie. It'd be like it makes sense that he wouldn't. But but I hear that he's actually signed on for the other Avenger movies too, so probably will see him. I don't know. What else? What else? What else? Vision, which you've seen if you watch the trailers, and you've seen Vision. It was just a brief flash of him, but really cool character there too. Um, and the humor in the movie, it was just like something to be thrown in here or there, just a quick little thing. Like there's a scene. There's a scene. Iron Man. It was near the beginning of the movie. Iron Man breaks into this place where they're holding Loki's scepter, um, and he takes down the shield that they have around the place. He goes in there, and there's like seven guys just like all standing there, not spread out. They're like clumped together, kind of. Um, and Stark just looks at him. He's Iron Man at the time in the Iron Man suit. And he just looks at them all and he goes, "Hey guys, how's it going? Let's have a little chat." And then he shoots them all with these little rockets that I don't know if they killed them or just knocked them out or whatever. But he like locks onto each of them and shoots them with like a bunch of shots, like 7 shots. Boom, boom, boom. They're all down. And then as soon as he does that, he goes, "Nice chat," which in and of itself is funny. But then he goes, "So that was a good chat, right, guys?" Or "Nice chat, right, guys?" Or something like that. Which in and of itself would be a funny statement. But then you hear one of the guys that go down and say, "No," in this like really like pained voice, like "No." I'll play along. I'll have a conversation with you. So moments like that were just like really funny. And just the humor is just sprinkled in. It's not a comedy by any means, but the humor is sprinkled in just so naturally and nicely. Something Joss Whedon is great at doing. Um, it's like that occasionally in Firefly as well, which is something else I love to watch because it's done so well. Joss Whedon is just great. And it's a bummer that he's going to be not doing the remaining Avengers movies, but the ones they're replacing him with is the brothers. I forget their name, but they're like brothers that co-direct together. They did Captain America: Winter Soldier last year, um, which was another great movie. Um, so the other Avenger movies should be nice. Um, but there's an instance where they all have these little like visions into, thanks to Scarlet Witch, into what they fear the most. Um, and like Stark's afraid of destroying the team and getting everyone killed by something he did, and him surviving. Um, Scarlet Witch is not Scarlet Witch. It's Scarlet Witch is played by Elizabeth Olsen, and Black Widow is played by Scarlett Johansson. So I get those two mixed up just because of the name Scarlett popping up so many times. Anyway, so thanks to Scarlet Witch, Black Widow's is a flashback to her past and something she was dreading while she was being trained as a deadly assassin. Um, Thor has this weird vision about Asgard and what's his name? The guy that controls the bridge between worlds is like telling him something, and then he has a flash and he sees the four Infinity Stones, three of which we are already aware of. The fourth one we become aware of in this movie. And I always thought there were five, but they definitely made it look like they're only going with four for the Infinity stuff that they have to deal with. So he sees a flash of the stones, and he's trying to figure it out because his wasn't so much a haunting as it was like a vision, a clue. So he had to do some research and figure out, and they didn't really explain how he figured it out, just that he had the means to figure it out with help from one of his friends from his movies, and the doctor that was in the last Avengers as well, that was being mind controlled along with Hawkeye using Loki's scepter. Hawkeye stops himself from getting mind controlled because, or he stops it, and he's like, "I'm not going through that again." And that was a nice little joke, a reference to the previous movie. The big one is Hulk. They don't explain what Hulk or Bruce Banner. They don't explain what he sees. They only show that he's in a crazy rage and he just like tears up this city and in this country that they're in. And Iron Man uses the Hulk Buster to do his best to stop the brain-controlled Hulk. Okay, I'm delving much closer into spoiler territory than I meant to. But I mean, I don't think I've given anything away. Just kind of like clarified a few things. So they have the big fight. Movie concludes. Lots of action. Nothing I'd like to bring up. Um, the humor was still sprinkled in there all throughout. And then the movie came to an end. End credit scene showing the Infinity Gauntlet being taken from wherever it was, and we see it on Asgard at one point in one of the Thor movies. Um, being taken by Thanos, who's the big purple guy we see in Guardians of the Galaxy and in the end credit scene, Star Wars. He takes the gauntlet, he puts it on, it's got the spots for the 4 stones that we know about, and he goes, "Fine, I'll do it myself," and that's how it ends. So I definitely recommend checking it out. I hope I didn't say too much in this little snippet. I'll be back later to close out my video, but for now, it was awesome. Alright guys, the time has come to end the vlog. I watched 2 things today since last we spoke. Or one thing. One thing I'd already watched, but figured I'd just do them both together. And you probably don't care. It was Ninja Turtles. So I watched Ninja Turtles. It's an interesting episode where other mutant animal friends of theirs, including Slash and Leatherhead, amongst others, names that aren't going to mean much to most people. Shredder mind controlled a couple of them and then managed to get Raphael in his possession and then put him under mind control also. And so it was those 3, the other turtles and their friends, the other mutant animals, all did their best to free them, and in the end did. Pretty crazy scene where Shredder fights off 8 mutant animals by himself at one point. All in all, it was a good episode. It was so-so, I guess. Kind of progressed the story, but just barely. Once Upon a Time was the next thing I watched. Interesting. What to say about it? I haven't given much specific details. The story they've been progressing slowly came kind of almost basically to an end. They got up to the end, and where you have Maleficent's daughter being found, and she's trying to connect with her, and kind of turning good in the process, and just being weird. It's being weird, but I guess that's them trying to reconcile the new version of Maleficent, where Maleficent's actually really good. It just misunderstood. I don't know if that's what they're doing or what, but they kind of tried to do that. Regina taking a few steps to try to ensure her happy ending, then changing her mind about it, realizing what she would do would cost her and what would happen, inadvertently empowering the one other person that they've been trying to stop, Mr. Gold, Rumpelstiltskin, into having something happen. And next week is going to be a direct result of that. The villains finally getting their happy endings and da-da-da-da. Basically just flips everything on its head, and the good guys are the bad guys, and the bad guys are the good guys. Seeing Snow White throwing fireballs was different. And that'll be on next week's episode. So, if you ever... So that would probably be an episode that could stand alone on its own just because it's so different. It's so opposite of everything. And seemingly it takes place to the point where they never get the curse to happen, so everyone is still in the Enchanted Forest, from what I can tell. Anyway, most of you probably don't care about that, and I don't want to make this vlog too long because my kind of review of Avengers was kind of long. So that's it. And then I came home, hung out with Jesse and Andy for a little while. Jesse's brother Andy. After the movie, before watching the shows, good time there. I got all the updates on Smash Brothers and Mario Kart that I didn't yet because Jesse had them and we played on his. So I made sure mine were up to date while we were doing today. It was fun. And we also played some old school GameCube a little bit too. Vlog's done. Bye guys. 1, 2, 3 of them. And 4 of me. 4 with me. And Avengers out. Bye.